So I'd like to introduce you to my new allotment. This is a larger space than the one I have. The one I have is about 50 to 60 square meters, and this one is 200. And it needs a lot of work, but I was really excited to take all of this work on. There's been some things that have happened since that I'm going to update you on in the upcoming videos, but just to start, I'll just show you around. So there are these raised beds, and then there's this storage thing. There's some apple and pear trees. I don't know what this is. They were probably building some place to sit, maybe. And underneath all of these weeds, there are stones in the pathways, so I need to clear that all up. And here's just an overview of what it looks like. So for the first project, I just started clearing out the weeds in this bed, and I brought some onion starts that I started from seed that I'm gonna be planting out today. So my usual process is just weeding, and then I topped it off with some bagged soil that was left behind by the previous owner of this. I guess you don't own an allotment, you rent it. So the previous renter maybe. So I just dumped out a bag of soil, and then I amended with some bone meal. I'm not sure if I put blood meal as well, but I'm definitely sure that I put down bone meal. And then I planted the onions in rows. I'm going to show you everything. And here's my little helper. She's always ready to help me whenever I need it. So that was great.
Ta en lite video och lite bilder.
Video?
Nu flyger över lite. Över hela. Bueno, mala Naji. Bebash. Bagulan labi. Tata Evelyn Ashbash. Plaza Cantefe.
Huh? Just saw that there's some daffodils that are blooming over here in this corner. Really beautiful. So this is the bone meal that I'm putting down, and then I just realized it wasn't blood meal. The second thing I amended with was alfalfa pellets. So I think that's a good source of nitrogen. It's going to break down over time and hopefully give these onions what they need. And then I just spaced these onions out and planted them and got them watered in. And then I was done. Ja, det blir intressant. And then on a different day, I went back to the new allotment and I brought some garlic and ranunculuses that I was going to plant out. So it's a bit of a project to get from the car to the allotment with all of this heavy bagged soil. But actually, I didn't record what happened, but when I got to my new allotment, I realized that someone had been there and had took the wood off of the raised beds. So I called the person that's in charge of the allotment that I had signed the papers to rent it from and asked if the previous renter had been there to take the raised beds away for themselves. Like maybe I figured maybe they didn't know that the allotment had a new renter. And she said no, but she said that this allotment area has had problems with a lot of thefts, and in the summers there are people that, like young people that do drugs and hang out at the allotment, and like all kinds of crazy things that have been happening there. So I just decided that before the season had even started, I was having all of these problems, that it's better not to put my energy into an allotment with all of that work that I was ready to do to clear it out and to make it better. Instead, I'm just gonna invest my time in the property that I own, which is an hour away, and just keep on with my allotment. So this is my original allotment and the only allotment that I'm going to be using. And I'm planting out the ranunculuses here instead. And then you'll be able to follow along as I start using the property space that I own and invest all of my time and energy into that instead. I feel like that's just going to be a lot better, because if they're stealing like old, almost rotten wood from me, like maybe they'll steal like flowers or fruits or plants or whatever. So I just don't feel safe investing in that space. But here are the ranunculuses. They're looking good.